Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Wisconsin.
September baseball, a lot of fun here at Miller Park. We are set for Game 3 of this series. It is a beautiful Saturday for baseball. The Cardinals and the Brew Crew match it up for the third game of this 4-game series. The Brewers will have 3 remaining with St. Louis in St. Louis on the next road trip. Right now, the Crew 3 games back of the Cardinals in the National League Central. Got a special night tonight at Miller Park. It is Pink Out night here at Miller Park. All the placards are in place. It's going to be quite a spectacle here at the ballpark, expecting a sellout crowd, and we're glad to be here. Hi, everybody. Along with Bill Schroeder, I'm Brian Anderson. Sophia Minute, our reporter tonight. Well, the Brewers are trying to make it back-to-back wins after a 9-game losing streak. And Milwaukee pounding out 6 runs on 10 hits last night. They're hoping for more of the same tonight.
Yeah, everybody looking for some offense. You figured it's going to come from the big guys, the guys in the middle of the batting order. But it's the young kids that came through in a big way last night. Scooter Gennett got things going in the 3rd inning. A single up the middle, striving in a couple of runs. He would add another on a double in the 5th inning. And Jonathan Lucroy driving in a run. Chris Davis put the game away as he hit a 2-run home run, his 22nd of the year in the 6th inning. And certainly when you look at what the Brewers needed, they needed a big bolt. They needed a big jolt from somebody, and it was the young guys. And Mike Fiers picked up his end, too, with another outstanding start. So the Brewers need to continue, need to get on top early in the ball game and allow Kyle Loesch to work with some runs.
That's the matchup tonight. It'll be Kyle Loesch against Lance Lynn. The Brewers occupying the 2nd wild card spot as we begin play today, and a terrific pitching matchup. Craig and Augie will break it down when we continue watching the Brewers on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Gorgeous night for baseball as the Brewers try to take a step closer to the Cardinals. If they can win tonight, that would be something, wouldn't it? Nice pitching matchup. We've got Lance Lynn on the hill against Kyle Oesch as we get closer to first pitch here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Lance Lynn, very good season overall, but Augie, since July 4th, this guy's been almost lights out for this Cardinals team.
Yeah, he's been throwing the ball very well. When you look at him this year, he's going for his third consecutive season of 15 wins. This is a guy who's a fastball pitcher. 75% of his pitches are fastball. He's got a 2- and 4-seam fastball. Early in the count, he used a 2-seam fastball. Later in the count, come right at you with that good fastball. That's a 4-seamer. Then he has a good breaking ball, good hard breaking ball that he uses to keep hitters off stride. He has a changeup that he uses from time to time. This is a guy who's aggressive on the plate and will come right after you.
For Kyle Oesch, he gave up 7 earned runs in his last start at San Francisco. What are 3 things that will get him back on track?
Well, I think the one thing that Kyle has to do after his last couple of starts is get off to a fast start. Start the tempo early, and that's good command of the fastball. Secondly, command the off-speed stuff. When he can get the hitters to stay off stride with that off-speed stuff, he does very well, and that's the slider and the changeup. And lastly, he's got to limit the damage control. He's very good at limiting the number of runs the opponents get. Very good at damage control. He has to do that tonight.
Big battle on the mound. Big battle between the top 2 teams in the division about to get underway. Game 3, Cardinals-Brewers live from Miller Park.
Making some September moments here at Miller Park in the middle of this long 11-game homestand. This is game 3 tonight. 75 beautiful degrees on a Saturday night for baseball. The Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals Kyle Loesch on the mound here tonight. You see the Brewers are decked out in their retro Friday gear once again. It worked so well last night that they'll break them out again against Mike Matheny and the St. Louis Cardinals. Matheny's made a few changes in his batting order tonight. Cardinals coming in 13 over 500, a 3-game lead over Milwaukee in the National League Central. He's got Carpenter leading off, John Jay batting second with Holiday batting third. No changes there. Matt Adams will be in the starting lineup for the first time of the series. He's been dealing with an oblique injury. He'll be followed by Johnny Peralta, then Yadier Molina. Colton Wong will hit seventh. Oscar Taveras making his first start of the series. Lance Lynn rounding it out. Lineups brought to you by Associated Bank. And there are the numbers on Kyle Loesch.
Yeah, Loesch making start number 28. He does have a complete game this year. Got roughed up his last time out against the Giants. 5 2/3, gave up 7 runs. Just did not have it throughout that entire game. Making start number 12. Career against St. Louis. He's got a 3-6 record.
First man up, Matt Carpenter. First pitch is up and away. And off we go here at Miller Park tonight. Great to have you with us this evening. Big sports day across the country. A lot of college football and pennant race baseball. Good day to be camped out on the couch. If you can't be here at Miller Park, of course.
Too nice to be on the couch, isn't it?
It is a beautiful night.
Beautiful day, beautiful night.
Had the roof closed up last night. Had some thunder showers in the area, but it's wide open today. Matter of fact, it's a little bit on the cool side, so they have closed up the panels to try to cut down some of those cool breezes coming in. Could not be better sitting in Miller Park tonight. And a strike to Carpenter. Brewers won 6-2 last night. They out hit the Cardinals 10-9. Mike Fiers was outstanding again. He won for the 5th time this season. And Loesch issues a walk to start this game. Never a good thing.
Yeah, command an issue for Kyle Loesch. His last time out. We check out the Brewers defense. Brought to you by Menards tonight. You got Chris Davis, Gerardo Parra in center field. Ryan Braun back in the starting lineup. Ramirez, Segura, Jeanette, Lyle Overbay at first base. And as usual, Jonathan Lucroy behind home plate. Your Brewers Menards defense for tonight.
Well, Ryan Braun originally not in the starting lineup. After batting practice, he declared himself good enough to go tonight. And so a late change, adding Braun in there. And Loesch misses badly, and Lucroy is on his way out. A little bit of a concerning start for Kyle Loesch, who is typically spot on with his command.
Well, third start for Loesch since his 11-day layoff between starts. Started on August 13th against the Cubs and did not make a start again until the 25th. That was at San Diego. Started to turn things around latter part of that start against the Padres, but really scuffled his last time out. And command never really an issue for Loesch.
Loesch facing John Jay with the lead runner on. Loesch had an ankle injury, and that was originally hurt against the Cardinals back on August 2nd. Loesch would go on to make 2 more starts before finally re-aggravating the ankle. As Jay lifts that one in the air to left field, well hit. Davis is on the run, and he's got it for the out. Carpenter retreats.
Well, Dave having a pretty good ride to the opposite field. John Jay, one of the hottest Cardinals hitters right now. Good job by Chris Davis getting right back to the spot, able to haul it in right in front of the wall. Well, when you're hot, you're hot. It's a curveball from Loesch that stayed up in the strike zone, and Jay goes right with it and hit it hard. But Davis able to make the play.
Had a good sound off the bat. Maybe the ball not traveling as it typically does here at Miller Park with the cooler temperatures. So one away. Here's Holiday, and Loesch in there for a strike. Matt Holliday, 268 batting average. He has 16 home runs this year. He's got an on-base percentage of .369. .81 RBIs for Holidays, the club leader in that category. And for the first time in the series, Rock Matheny has his 2 big bats in there together, Holliday and Matt Adams.
Yeah, Matt Adams with that oblique issue, but good enough to go here tonight. Every team battling injuries. The severity a little bit different, but Adams able to find that starting lineup tonight.
Be very curious to see how he swings the bat. Oblique injuries usually aren't two-day problems. Matheny saying before the game it's September. He feels like he can play and wants to play, and he's in the lineup. I think the same goes for Ryan Braun. Probably the same conversation between player and manager.
Yeah, a little problem with the hand that reared up again, and Ron Renicky saying that Braun said he wants to play. There he is. Got to have your big boys in the lineup this time of year.
Holiday off the end of the bat, slices it foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Matt Holliday. Brewers held him in check yesterday after a 3-hit game on Friday night. Holliday was 0 for 4 last night. He stranded 3 base runners. As a team, the Cardinals left 7. Got him. Struck him out. Loesch picks up his first K and his second out of the inning.
Yeah, good pitch. Found that command all of a sudden. Good time to find it with Holliday at the plate. The slider starts off on the corner and then ends up off the plate, and Holliday just waves at it. Mike Fiers able to hold Holliday hitless last night, and Loesch a good start against him tonight.
Right over the top. 2 outs in the inning, and here is Adams. Starts him with a breaking ball for a strike. Adams has been struggling at the plate, but then you understand why if he's dealing with an oblique injury. So much rotation in this game, especially as a hitter. Not having the same kind of explosion, but they feel like a couple of days off. He feels good. He's back in there. Some of the folks who cover the Cardinals every day feeling like Adams hurt himself originally playing first base, reaching across on a poor throw, and then has tried to just muscle through it. Daniel Descalso started at first base last night. Matheny had a rookie making his major league debut start at first on Friday night, Xavier Scruggs. But this is the guy he wants out there every night if he can.
Yeah, tough to be consistent and score runs without your cleanup hitter in the lineup, and that's what the Cardinals were forced to do first couple of games in this series. Adams a bit of a struggling hitter before he actually came out of the lineup, down under 300 for the first time. He's been above that 300 mark just about all season.
Yeah, he was making a strong run at a batting title until this recent slide. He has 13 homers, 57 driven in. He looks like a big power hitter, and he can be, but he's also a good hitter. Uses all fields. You can just tell by the way the Brewers set up defensively. Pretty much straight away in the outfield and slightly to pull if he hits one on the ground, his spray chart says.
And good gap power, both right center and left center. Stays on the ball nicely, doesn't strike out a whole lot, not for a big guy.
And believe it or not, he has a team high 5 triples for the Cardinals this year. That one's in the air to right. Pretty well hit. Back is Braun, and he's out of room. And Adams comes back and gives the Cardinals a big lift right away. A 2-run homer in the first inning.
Well, and a curveball that Loesch left up in the strike zone, and the Brewers are able to find themselves on top first last night, but not tonight. They're going to have to play from behind. Already making his mark on this game. Looked like a hanging curveball from Kyle, and Adams able to wait back, barrel it up, and knock it out of here. 2-0 St. Louis.
Home run number 14 for Adams. Here's Johnny Peralta now. Rolls over one. Segura, long throw across the diamond in time to retire the side. So Loesch gives up a 2-run homer. Matt Adams back in the lineup and back doing damage again. spot on a 2-run homer by Matt Adams. Now the Brewers coming to bat against right-hander Lance Lynn. Ron Renicky trying to take a second team to the postseason. He did it in 2011 as division winners in his 4th year as the skipper of the Brew Crew. His batting order tonight, it's brought to you by Associated Bank. He's got Scooter Gennett leading off, Gerardo Parra, then Ryan Braun. Middle of the order is Ramirez, Lucroy, and Davis, with Overbay, Segura, and Loesch rounding out the starting 9 against Lance Lynn.
Yeah, already a double digits in wins for the 3rd time as a St. Louis Cardinal, 29th start. He does have a complete game. He's 5-3 career against Milwaukee, but a .473 earned run average. The Brewers beat him here at Miller Park back in April, 5-4. Was not very good his last time out against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Lynn giving up 3 runs in 6 innings against the Pirates. All 3 of those runs coming in the first 2 innings. Had trouble getting started in that game and then settled down late as he deals strike 1 to Scooter Gennett. Lynn's on a pretty impressive run right now on the mound. He has gone 11 consecutive starts, allowing 3 runs or fewer. So since July 4th, hasn't allowed more than 3 earned runs in a game. That one's booted by Adams. So he gives you 2 at the bat, but he allows a lead runner on an old-fashioned clank at first base.
Yeah, just a boot right there. You got to wonder if it's the oblique, that strained muscle, not able to get down properly. He just kicked that one, and Scooter Gennett able to reach on the E3. Well, Scruggs made an error in the first game of the series. Descalso played errorless yesterday, and that one rolls right up his arm. And an error on Matt Adams.
Oh, the highs and the lows of this game, right? You got to be a mental superstar to play at this level. After he hits one out, makes an error, and that'll bring up Gerardo Parra.
And that's about as easy a play as it gets. Wouldn't hit all that hard, but was not able to handle it.
Parra sends one to right. Well hit, and it is over the head of Tavares. Gennett on his way to 3rd. He'll stop there, and it's a double by Parra.
Boy, how good has he been? Boy, what an acquisition he was at the trading deadline, filling in for Gomez. Did a nice job filling in for Braun. Plays great defense, and boy, has he been hitting lately. There's that fastball from Lance Lynn right down the middle of the plate. It was supposed to be on the outside corner, and Parra drives it over the head of John Jay out and right. So an excellent start offensively for the Brewers. And they're in a good position with Ryan Braun coming up.
2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Gerardo Parra stays hot. Ryan Braun back in the lineup. He hit in the 3rd group today in batting practice. Those are the backup players, the bench players. Gave that thumb a test, the hand injury, a test run, and then he told his manager he can do it. And he hits one off the end of the bat into shallow left field, and that's going to fall. And it's kicked by Holiday, and now here comes Parra. The throw to the plate, and Parra's in. We're tied. Throw gets away. Braun to 3rd.
Well, now the Cardinals kicking it around a little bit. Well, Matt Holliday clanks one, and then they throw one to the screen. That could be the 3rd error in this inning. You figure Holliday's going to get one, and then the throw coming into home plate's another error, allowing Braun to get to 3rd. So very unusual to see the Cardinals throw it around like that. Well, Ryan Braun goes down in a heap, but still able to get to 3rd base on the comedy of errors by the Cardinals in this inning. It'll be a base hit, 1 RBI. There's the boot right there by Holiday, allowing Parra to score. And the throw in goes to the screen, and Braun gets to 3rd.
Well, I think you're right. There could be 2 errors on that play, 3 errors in the inning. We'll see how they score it all. Tim O'Driscoll, the official score, going through all of that. So when it's all said and done, it's 2-2. Braun at 3rd. And Ramirez into left. Holiday is there to make the catch. There goes Braun. Here comes a throw, and Braun is going to be out. No! Safe! And Matheny pops out immediately.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Throw beat him. Tag was there. But the home plate umpire, Jerry Meals, the crew chief, saying that Braun got a foot in there before the tag.
Well, you got to figure this is going to be looked at, no doubt. And they're going to come in. The crew chief's coming in. And Molina not blocking off home plate. I'm not sure how you call him safe, but Bob Davidson or Jerry Meals calls him safe. Wow. It looked out to me right there.
Yeah, this is going to be overturned probably fairly quickly. Glove right on the spike on the heel of Braun. That was a very good throw by Matt Holliday. And that's what Ed Cedar's counting on, that Holliday is not going to get off a perfect throw, but he left it right for Molina on one hop.
Yeah, it was a good throw. And Molina obviously not blocking off home plate, giving Ryan an opportunity to slide. And it looked as though Molina slapped the tag on the foot before Ryan got there. They're still looking at it. Interesting.
Now, this is officially ruled as a crew chief review. The managers don't have to use a challenge when there is a play at the plate. They can basically ask to have the play reviewed, whether an opposing manager or the base running manager can say if the catcher was blocking the ball. Well, here's the call. He's out. Jerry Meals misses the call but gets it right on review, and now Renicki's coming out and he wants to know how that all went down. Probably just wants to make sure
that there wasn't a block off of home plate.
And we've just been given some bad information from Major League Baseball. So originally they said it was a crew chief review. They've changed that. Yeah, I'm sure they apologize, but it is a manager challenge.
Right.
The communication between replay and the umpires and the broadcasters is something that has to improve for next year, but it's a work in progress. So,
yeah, because Mike Matheny would not go out and challenge the fact that Molina was blocking off home plate. It had to be Matheny was challenging the call safer out. Well, no way it could be a crew chief review.
Well, just to clean it all up, Matheny uses a challenge. He's successful in the challenge. He has one remaining. Wipes out a base runner. It's a double play. And here is Jonathan Lucroy.
And you will always, every time, run on Matt Holliday. And very rarely does he get off a good throw, or at least something on it and accurate. And that's what Ed Cedar, as you were talking about, was counting on. He was looking for a throw like he did before that went to the screen.
What a crazy first inning here. 3 Cardinal errors in the inning, one of the better defensive teams in the league. Brewers answer back quickly. And Lucroy, big cut and a miss. 2 balls and a strike. Well, St. Louis got a 2-run homer from Adams in the top of the first. Brewers answer right back. 2 hits. Lucroy fouls it away. Only RBI of the inning is rewarded to Ryan Braun. And the 2 errors on the 1 play.
A lot going on for a guy that thought he was going to not play tonight.
Right.
He talked his way back in the lineup, I guess. Right back in it.
2-2. Lucroy fouls it away.
Got to have your big guns, your big guys in that lineup this time of year, and Ryan Braun realizes that and got back in the lineup and has already made his presence felt, just like Matt Adams.
Well, the Brewers continue to be without Carlos Gomez, out with a wrist injury.
He's coming along nicely, though.
Gomez has been able to pinch run in this series. We saw him in the game defensively in the last inning last night in center. Lucroy hits that one hard to center field. Long run for Jay. Can't get there. That one's going to the wall. And the doubles machine, Jonathan Lucroy, adds one more to it. Lucroy now with 48 doubles on the year. And inching closer to a record by a catcher.
And continues to play every day and is now starting to center on pitches again. He went into a little bit of a drought on the last road trip, but now starting to swing it again. Good balanced swing for Lucroy and able to drive that one over the head of John Jay. It was Tavares in right field. So John Jay out in center field tonight.
Lucroy 2 doubles away from 50. It'd be the third in franchise history to get there. The National League leader in doubles, Jonathan Lucroy. And now we'll see if Chris Davis can pick him up. Brewers have a chance to take the lead here right away. Davis hit a 2-run homer last night that capped off the Brewers scoring. That was a 2-run home run in the 6th inning. Davis now with 22 home runs. He leads the ball club in that category. Had a big cut.
Yeah, Lackey tried to come inside on him last night and he knocked it out of here. Second deck out there and left. Had a good one to hit that last pitch. Lance Lynn's going to give you a lot of fastballs. He likes to throw the fastball. He'll throw the slider, the occasional curveball and changeup. And Brewers have been making good contact on him here in the first inning.
Got 3 hits, 2 doubles. Parra and Lucroy with the extra base hits. And Davis chases one out of the zone. And he strikes out. So the inning is over, but a good bounce back for the Brew Crew, courtesy of 3 Cardinal errors. The Brewers put 2 on the board and answer the 2-run St. Louis first.
Adams, but his Brewers teammates pick him up, and we head to the second, tied at 2. And talking to Loesch yesterday about beating the losing streak and getting back into this division race to the first place that they've been in all season long, Loesch said that certainly a lot of this will come down to the starting rotation. They were a huge part of the team's success in the first half, and said that when things are going poorly or like the losing streak, he said sometimes you just have to deal with that pressure, trying to do too much. He said as a rotation, we've just stressed that doing the things that made us successful, that got us into this position, trusting the stuff that we've had all year, and it's just about executing game plans and making pitches in order to turn this thing around.
All right, Sophia, thanks. And Loesch has been through the pennant race fire before. He's pitched in a postseason, been a part of a World Series winning club in St. Louis in 2011. And knows what it takes to perform under that kind of pressure. As a matter of fact, Loesch, if you combine his postseason appearances, he has 13 games pitched in the postseason, 8 starts. Made a couple of starts in the NLCS for the Cardinals back in 2012. Had a World Series start against the Texas Rangers in 2011. Hasn't been a great postseason performer, Loesch. He's had his moments, but his overall ERA at 4.8. Hoping for different results this year as Molina turns one around. That is hooking foul.
And just to add on to the point for Kyle Loesch, the starting rotation leading the charge here in September. You know, the Brewers have 3 starting pitchers with postseason experience: Kyle, Gallardo, and Garza. So 3 of those guys, you know, lead the way that have been through these pennant races before.
Yeah, Molina draws the walk, so Loesch issues an opening walk again, 2nd consecutive inning. And this is looking like a rocky ride early for these 2 starting pitchers.
Somewhat the way he started, you know, his first outing after that ankle injury in San Diego. Very shaky first couple of innings, but then he found it pretty well. A little bit different against the Giants. Of course, the Giants were swinging the bats well at that time. You just got to keep battling through it. It's obviously not able to find his good location. The one thing he cannot do is just throw one down the middle in hopes that they're going to hit somebody, hit it at somebody. Doesn't have that kind of stuff.
Loesch giving up 7 earned runs against the Giants. Only 1 earned run against San Diego. Gave up 4 walks in that game. Drops that one in for a strike on Colton Wong. It is the push ankle for Loesch. One you get all the drive from, and he said ankle was given so much trouble that it was starting to affect his arm.
Changing his mechanics a little bit. That's the last thing you want to see. Leg and ankle injuries can all of a sudden turn into arm injuries. That's the last thing you want to see.
Well, in that game, Loesch injured his ankle against St. Louis. He gave up 7 earned runs. Came back, had a decent start against the Dodgers, and then couldn't get to the 4th inning against the Cubs after that. That's the game he had to come out. There's a swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch. Loesch pulling the string on Colton Wong, and he picks up his 2nd strikeout.
Yeah, but you just got to keep throwing it. If you hang it, you got to keep throwing it because you need it at some point. And able to get him a changeup, gets Wong well located down in the strike zone. That's where you want it, down in the dirt with 2 strikes.
So Wong strikes out. Holiday and Wong the strikeout victims for Loesch. And here is Oscar Taveras. He gets himself back in the starting lineup tonight. Matheny trying to get him jump started. Well, typically the Cardinals have gone with John Jay and Peter Borges in the outfield. Jay in right, Borges in center, and that has been quite a defensive combination in this series. Taveras just roared through the Cardinals system, one of the top prospects in all of baseball. He came up, he swung the bat well right away, but has been mired in a long slump since.
A young player, Matheny not forced to play him. He had a pretty good at bat yesterday, late in the ball game as a pinch hitter against Mike Fiers.
He drove in a run yesterday on an infield hit, hit the ball sharply toward first.
Long at bat, so Matheny watching that, saying it might be the time to get him back in that starting lineup.
Taveras into left. Going back on it is Davis. He's got room for this one. And out number 2.
Well, the Brewers continue this long homestand this Monday through Thursday. The Miami Marlins come to town. Tickets for this series start as low as $9. To reserve your spot, call 902-4000 or go to Brewers.com today.
Like the Cardinals, the Marlins will have 4 right-handers on the mound. And a name has resurfaced for the Miami Marlins. Brad Penny is going to start game 1 of the series. Yep. Gallardo and Penny. You got Gallardo, Garza, Willie Peralta, and Mike Fiers in that 4-game series against the Marlins. You got to be a Marlins fan tonight if you're a Brewer fan. Marlins are hosting the Atlanta Braves. The Brewers have a 1-game lead over Atlanta in the wild card race, the number 2 spot. They are underway in Miami, scoreless in the 2nd inning. Marlins beat Atlanta last night, combined with the Brewers win. The team directly ahead of Milwaukee in the wild card standings, the Giants. They beat the Tigers today 5-4. Hung on to win that game behind Madison Bumgarner, who is now 17-9. He beat David Price today.
Yeah, Brewers saw him on the last road trip. Tough. Yeah, Atlanta Braves, they're a game back. The Pirates only 2 games back in that 2nd wild card spot.
0-2 to Lance Lynn. And he hit him. Boy, hit the pitcher on an 0-2 pitch. And Loesch really wrestling with it tonight.
Well, the last thing you want to do is hit the pitcher and have the top of the order coming up. Well, 2-seam fastball just got away from him. And Lynn with really no opportunity to get out of the way. Not his throwing elbow, but still gets him right on the back of that lead elbow.
Stuck that elbow right there, and it hit him right on the point of the elbow on an 0-2 pitch. So 2 on, a walk and a hit batter. Back to the top of the order, and Matt Carpenter now.
Yeah, Willie hit a couple of batters a couple of nights ago. Holiday got hit, Scruggs got hit, and now Lance Lynn.
Carpenter walked and scored in the 1st inning. He was on base when Adams went deep. That home run by Adams came with 2 outs last inning. Been a whole lot of action so far. Brewers were able to answer with 2 in the bottom of the 1st. 3 Cardinal errors. 2 of them by Holiday on the same play. Carpenter had 3 hits on Friday night. Was 0 for 4 last night. Prior to his big night Friday, was in a deep slump at the plate. Just 3 hits and 31 at bats coming in.
And Matt Carpenter with 628 plate appearances. That's a full season already.
Plays every day. Puts the ball in play. Hitting at the top of that order. So getting that extra at bat on a lot of nights. That 5th at bat. It's another slow breaking ball. Same pitch that got him strike 1 gets him strike 2. And the count evens with 2 away.
Continues to try and get that pitch working for him the way he wants. He hangs this one too, but right on the outside corner, and Carpenter let it go by, leaving that pitch up in the zone.
Molina, slow runner at 2nd. Lynn, a slow runner at 1st. 2-2. Carpenter takes a ball. Lucroy held it there for a moment, trying to influence the mind of Jerry Meals. Didn't work.
Man, take that one. Good job. Good eye. Goodness.
Full count. Runners will get a head start. Best arm in the outfield for the Brewers is in center field with Parra. Runners go. 3-2. Bouncing ball to Jeanette. And Loesch works around a hit batter. Strands a couple of Cardinals. Brewers coming up. Bottom of the 2nd. All tied at 2. And we invite you to join Fox Sports Wisconsin for the 3rd annual Brewers Mini Marathon and 10K. That'll be on September 20th. That's a Saturday. It begins and ends at Miller Park. The course goes past many Milwaukee landmarks, and runners will receive a race shirt, a medal, a Brewers ticket voucher, and you can celebrate at a post-race tailgate party. For all the details, visit foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the More tab. Well, Rock, kind of a wild start to this one tonight. All even at 2. We head to the home second, bottom of the order coming up.
Yeah, crazy stuff. I mean, as clean as the game was yesterday, I mean, as far as base runners, not too many. It's been a crazy start. But Kyle Loesch has been able to get the outs when he's needed them. 2 errors by Matt Holliday. 3 overall for the Cardinals in the first inning.
Yeah, the 2 big bats committing the errors, Adams and Holliday. Holliday did have a good throw to cut down Ryan Braun. Otherwise, the Brewers would have taken the lead in the first inning. Well, Renicky still searching at first base. Overbay has emerged as an option and swinging the bat well.
And Lyle looking over there and seeing Matt Adams over there by the shortstop where he would normally play. Tried to, well, he was thinking about dropping that a bunt down the third base line. He's down in the count 0-2. It's got to be tempting, especially when you're leading off an inning. You just drop it down there. You roll it anywhere toward third base. You got a hit.
Overbay has shown bunt on a few occasions this year. He has not been able to drop one down fair for a hit. Overbay's been a great pinch hitter for Renicky. That's one of the reasons Ron's hesitant to put him in the starting lineup, because he gives him a very good weapon off the bench. But Overbay is a slick fielder. Figure a lot of balls put in play with Loesch on the mound, and he gives him a left-handed bat against Lance Lynn. The Brewers do have Matt Clark up from AAA, who got his first major league hit on Friday night. He's another option as a left-handed hitter, but Renicky goes with the veteran Overbay tonight. Puts Reynolds on the bench. 3-2 pitch. Overbay strikes out. Lynn got a fastball by him for his second strikeout.
Well, let's check out the Cardinals as they line up defensively tonight. I was going to say how good they've been defensively in the first inning, but they committed 3 errors. It's Holliday, Jay, and Tavares in left, center, and right. Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Adams from third to first, and Yadier Molina, the Gold Glove catcher, behind home plate. Cardinals tied for third coming in tonight in total defense in the National League.
1 gone. Here is Gene Segura in the second. It's curious to see if Segura was going to break out the John Shelby 1980s retro sweatband, and he certainly has it back on again tonight. He got 3 hits with it on last night.
Well, he better. Good luck.
Back in the 80s and the 90s, they used to have the sweatbands with your picture on it. The caricature. That was a John Shelby special. I'm guessing that's circa 1988, if I had to make a guess.
No, some players did.
They didn't have the Bill Schroeder model?
No. They didn't.
Were you kind of hanging around the equipment guy with the sweatband guy going, hey, they need a very big sweatband. So you'd have it.
I don't think it was that.
Oh.
Kind of more of a low-key guy, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I saw a picture of you today. It didn't look very low-key.
It was a good picture, wasn't it?
Had the sweet permed mullet with the I think the jersey was maybe a size too small, so the guns were out.
You can only imagine how small it is now.
The arms fit fine, but the midsection is be a little stressed.
Okay. Buddy Rick Ramirez, our stats man tonight, dug that picture up. We appreciate that. At least I
nice.
do.
The mullet perm. How long did you stick with that?
It's always good to pump up the analyst once in a while.
That was a very intimidating picture. I wouldn't want to.
And still, you give me a hard time.
Well, you know, it's the before and the after. 3-2 to Segura. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Len sticking with a fastball, and he has 2 strikeouts and 3 consecutive Ks on the fastball. And that'll bring up Kyle Lohse.
That's a good fastball by Lynn. He struck out 3 consecutive batters.
Lohse takes a strike. Here's the photograph.
You see, calling time.
Let's see, it's moved over here so we can get it before and after.
Yeah, see? There you go.
Before.
You can't even tell the difference.
I mean, that's the most intimidating timeout call I've ever seen.
Yeah. It didn't look to me like things were going all that well in the game at that point. I might have let one get through my legs or something.
I don't think so.
I had to call time.
Bill Schroeder in his glory days.
Just have to remind you once in a while that I did actually play in the major leagues.
I know it. Absolutely. I'm always amazed how many baseball cards you get up here to get autographed each and every day. Just a flood of mail.
Yeah.
It's a called strike 3. Len back to the fastball. He strikes out the side. He has 4 in a row. Are coming up. Lance Lynn strikes out the side in the second. And Lohse back to work. John Jay, Matt Holliday, Matt Adams.
All right, let's check out tonight's Tavern of the Game winner. It's Humphrey's Pub in Merrill. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. My buddy John Humphreys up in Merrill. That's about a half hour north of Wausau.
Mm-hmm.
I know John. Nice place. I've been there.
Have you?
I've had a good time there.
Well, I think you got a bar stool waiting for you next time after that endorsement. Maybe one on the house.
You know, John used to also have a nursery up there. Sold Christmas trees.
Oh, okay. There's a strike to John Jay. Little fun fact.
Yeah.
Coming off the Tavern of the Game. It's almost that time.
Yep. Humphrey's Pub. I'll tell you a little bit more about my time there later on.
All right. I look forward to that. Speaking of glory days, right?
Yeah. It's fun.
John Jay's been a red hot hitter. Had a great month of August, carried it over into September. And hits that one in the air to right field. Traveling back. Braun feeling for the wall. He's got it. Man, oh man. John Jay's hit 2 very deep in this game. Nothing to show for it. Long, loud out to left in the first, and the same to right here in the third.
Yeah, he's been swinging it well. And, you know, Jay had a couple of hits early in the game yesterday, and then back-to-back strikeouts. But both times tonight just got under a couple of fly balls, missing a home run again by a couple of feet.
Here's Matt Holliday with one away. Holliday struck out his first time up. Loesch got him on a slider. That pitch right there. Loesch doesn't get the call. 2 balls, no strikes. And a dangerous Matt Holliday at the plate. Speaking of red hot hitters. Been a run producing machine here lately, Holliday. Matter of fact, he's the reigning player of the week in the National League. Had 13 RBIs last week. 12 of those came in a weekend series against the Cubs.
There's a good pitch, cut fastball. Loesch right back into the count. A perfectly located fastball and a 2-0 count, and now the cutter. And he's got Holliday talking to himself. There's that little bit of a rotation, the way he gets rid of it off the outside corner and way out in front.
Hung that with a line shot right at Davis. Hit it like a bullet. And Loesch knows he got away with one. 2 outs in the inning. 2 up, 2 down.
Tough gauntlet to get through when you talk about Jay, Holliday, and Adams. You can actually put Carpenter in that. It's been a pretty good offense lately for the Cardinals. That gives you an idea how good Mike Fiers was last night.
Yeah, Peralta's had a great year. He's hit 19 home runs. The Cardinal shortstop. It's been an area of concern for the Cardinals, their offense throughout the year. Inconsistent offense for them. Their pitching is very good. But they're all coming together at once when it counts. St. Louis had a 6-game winning streak, their longest of the year, snapped last night with that Brewer victory. Cardinals had pushed it to a season high 14 games over 500 until the loss last night.
It's all about highs and lows, hot streaks, cold streaks, and who's going to be at the top of the end.
Called strike 3. Loesch starting to dial it in now. Hit the edge on Adams. 1-2-3 inning with a strikeout. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Easy to draw some inspiration there. Hammer and Hank. Hank Aaron statue out in front of Miller Park. 2-2 ball game. The Brewers and the Cardinals. Big one here tonight, especially for Milwaukee. Brewers are 3 games back in the division to the Cardinals. A win tonight would give them a chance at a series win tomorrow. Adam Wainwright is on the mound for St. Louis tomorrow. The Brewers will have Jimmy Nelson on the bump. So this one has a lot of heat on it, as they all will the rest of the way. Top of the order, Jeanette leads the way. Scooter, his last time up, reached on an error. Looked like a routine ground ball to first base, and then Adams just booted it. Brewers scored 2 in the first. RBI from Braun. They had 3 hits, and those 3 St. Louis errors. Well, Jeanette had a great night last night. Well, when the Brewers needed a couple of big hits, he delivered. First one was a 2 RBI single, came with 2 strikes, and it put the Brewers on the board first last night. That was in the 3rd inning. And then Jeanette drove in a run with a double, which came with 2 outs in the 5th inning. And when it was all said and done, Jeanette with 2 hits, 2 for 4, scored a run, drove in 3, pushed his average up to .298.
And 3 of the guys in that 2009 draft, that was the responsibility of Bruce Side, all coming through in yesterday's game.
Hit the leg of Lynn right to Carpenter, though, and Jeanette is out. Bad break for Jeanette. He hit that right off Lance Lynn and right to the Cardinal third baseman. Putout goes 1-5-3.
Jeanette right back through the middle, and unfortunately the ricochet goes right over to Carpenter, and he gets the out easily.
Actually hit him in the glove.
Yep. Got the glove down, but right over to Carpenter for the out. Got him by a step.
Yeah, 1 away, 5 in a row retired by Lynn. Here is Gerardo Parra. That was a feel-good night last night. When you talk about the recent tragic passing of Bruce Side, amateur scouting director, and his first draft as the scouting director was the '09 draft. And the 3 players who were all first to the big leagues from that draft, Mike Fiers, the first one, Chris Davis and Scooter Jeanette, all had memorable nights here last night, and they all referenced Bruce last night. Davis hit a 2-run homer.
On the first day that they wore the Bruce patches on their jerseys. Do you believe in coincidences?
Not in this case.
Yeah, right.
That was just a really cool moment here. And the patches on the jersey, and the Brewers go with their same uniforms again tonight. As Lynn strikes out Gerardo Parra.
Man, Lynn's starting to get it dialed in. Well, the Cardinal defense helping the Brewers pick up 2 runs in the first inning, and Lance Lynn has been dominating. He struck out 5 of the last 6.
Here is Ryan Braun now with 2 away. Lynn using a lot of fastballs to get through this Brewer lineup.
Fastballs and sliders. And he's always been that way. He likes to throw that, elevate that fastball up in the strike zone with 2 strikes. Whipped that last one in there at 95 miles an hour, so he's got a little bit behind it. Every now and again, a curveball and a changeup, but mostly hard stuff from Lance Lynn. And it's worked for him. He's been a big winner.
15 wins last year for Lynn. He won 18 games in his first full season as a starter, 2012. Sitting on 14 wins this year. 27 years of age. He played his college ball at Ole Miss.
And he's always had good success here at Miller Park. 5 starts, a 3-1 record, and a 185 earned run average here in the Brewers' home ballpark.
Two balls and a strike on Braun, who has 5 career hits against Lance Lynn, including an RBI his last time up. 2-2. The Brewers beat Lynn at Busch Stadium on the 29th of April. He gave up 4 runs in that game. Actually 5 runs. He gave up 3 runs in 1 inning. Lynn had a dominant start here early in April against the Brewers back on the 14th. Shut him out for 7 innings. Right off the end of the bat to Peralta. And Braun is out, and Lance Lynn has retired 7 straight. Jason Kidd, new Bucks coach, going old school Brewers hat. He'll join us when we come back.
The Brewers and the Cardinals. I am joined now by the new head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, Jason Kidd. Coach, thanks for joining us. And training camp is just a few weeks away, September 30th. You said you've already got some guys in town. How much are you looking forward to getting the season started here?
I'm excited. 1, to be here in Milwaukee. 2, to have guys in town in early September. We have a young, exciting team. So right now, guys are here working hard, and we're excited for the upcoming season.
A lot of young pieces to work with. Giannis Antetokounmpo, John Henson, of course, drafting Jabari Parker. What is your short-term and long-term goals for these guys as you start to rebuild the franchise?
Well, short-term is the hope that, we come out and we work hard every night and we get better. And with that being said, hopefully we can put some W's on the board. But it's a process, and we understand that it's a marathon, it's a long season. So each day our goal is to get better.
You've also newly added the Clippers forward Jared Dudley. How can a veteran like that help mold a young team?
Well, when you talk about Dudley, you talk about a veteran guy who knows what it takes to win. He's professional, and we need for those younger guys to learn from him.
And just what kind of welcome have you had here to Milwaukee? You're wearing the Brewers hat. You've been to a few games now. How's the transition to Milwaukee going?
It's been great. I don't know what they're talking about it being cold here. The weather's been great. With the transition from New York to Milwaukee has been awesome. The people have been great, and we're excited to get the season underway.
All right. Thanks, Coach, for your time. And the Bucs season will get underway shortly. They'll begin training camp on September 30th, the preseason early October, and the regular season will kick off for the Bucs on October 29th in Charlotte. Brian?
All right, Sophia, thanks. There's a base hit by Johnny Peralta. Thanks to Jason Kidd. Good to have him here in town. Had a chance to have one of his top assistants here in the booth a couple of days ago. Joe Prunty, very good assistant, has ties with the San Antonio Spurs. He and his wife Laura spent some time with us. And he's got a good staff assembled. I enjoyed covering Jason Kidd as a player, but also this past NBA playoff season when he was coaching the Brooklyn Nets in that series against the Miami Heat. They had a thrilling series win against the Raptors. That'd be a good fit. Welcome Jason Kidd to Milwaukee.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing the Bucks and get back to winning ways. You heard the coach talk about a process. It might take a while, but try to get better every day. Sounds a lot like Ron Renick and what he preaches to his players. Take care of the little things, and the big things take care of themselves.
He's a lot like Ron Renick. That's a good comparison. He's pretty soft-spoken as Molina swings and misses. Pretty soft-spoken. You won't see him get too up or down publicly. Not that he can't do that privately. So those two do have a lot of similarities. Jason Kidd was a great point guard. What a great player for a long time in the NBA. He was one of the best at his position ever. Little bouncer over to Overbay. Peralta was on the run, so the Cardinals stay out of a double play.
It would have been one had Peralta not been on the move, because Molina does not run well at all. You can see Molina trying to fight that one off into right field. A big hole over there. You can see him right there. He's trying to serve it over there, but fortunately for Milwaukee, right at Overbay. And Molina does that so well. Uses right field, even hits those ground balls into right field.
So the go-ahead run at second now. Peralta. Here is Colton Wong. Looks like Loesch starting to get better command of that slider, that cutter. He's been able to hit the back door on the left-handed hitters on a few occasions the last 2 innings. He struck out Wong in the second inning. Okay, got him to wave and miss at that one.
Well, most of his mistakes early on were on the curveball, and it doesn't seem as though he's throwing as many of those. And instead of the curveball, he's going with the changeup. Nice to be able to, try and work through all your pitches, see what's working for you in any given start, and then whatever's not working, forget about it for a while, go with something else. But you never want to give up on it completely, because you might need it later on. You're going to see him throw that curveball from time to time. He'll just pick his spots with it.
And that Vulcan grip on that changeup. It's a very unusual way to throw a changeup, but it's worked for Loesch. Splitting his middle finger and ring finger to hold that pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Wong hits that one hard. Center field. Turning and running is Parra. That's over his head. This is going to bring in a run. Colton Wong got a fastball, and he did not miss it. RBI double for Colton Wong. The Cardinals are back on top, 3-2.
Yeah, pretty hot hitter in the bottom of the Cardinals batting order, and he's always had very good success against Kyle Loesch. And now 5 for 8 against Kyle Loesch in his career. He got that fastball up. It was a mistake, and hits it hard into center field. That's a pretty good stroke right there. Getting on top of a high fastball, and no chance for Gerardo Parra. That ball kept slicing away from him as he went out to go and get it.
So 2 hits in the inning. Wong delivers RBI number 39 of the year. He's at second. Oscar Taveras takes a strike. Rookie outfielder. Wong's having the best of the bunch, the best year of the Cardinal rookies. Taveras flew out to left his last time up. Now you got the pitcher coming up next in Lance Lynn. Key hitter here for Loesch with a runner at second and 1 out.
Well, this is the guy you want, though. I mean, you don't want to have to go after Lynn and then the top of the order and Matt Carpenter. This is the guy You want to throw some strikes to Tavares in the 8th spot in the batting order. Get him out and then go after Lance Lynn.
Carpenter hopeful for an at-bat in this inning with helmet on already. 2 balls and a strike on Oscar Tavares, and he swings and launches one to right. Braun is back there at the fence. Goodbye. 2-run home run, Tavares. And the Cardinals have opened it up here. 3 runs are in the inning. It's now 5-2. Second home run of the game.
Well, change up in the strike zone, and Tavares able to hammer it. Actually wasn't up in the strike zone, was trying to go away from him, and look at the way he keeps that bat in the hitting zone. Rolls over on that top hand and drives it out of here high and deep into right field. Ryan Braun runs out of room.
Lance Lynn, big swing and a foul. So the Brewers are having some trouble with Kyle Lohse, who had been one of their most consistent pitchers all season. Gave up 7 earnings his last time out. He's given up 5 here tonight. We're only in the 4th. Just not himself. Don't know if it's the ankle or not, but he is not pitching like the Kyle Lohse that we're accustomed to.
And leaving some pitches up in the strike zone, and the Cardinals are taking advantage of it.
Lynn strikes out.
There's a pretty hot offense right now, these Cardinals. You can't make mistakes. Hey, the most popular way to follow the Brewers and the September pennant races is with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replays, score updates, live audio broadcasts, and more. Download At Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store, or visit Brewers.com.
2 outs. Matt Carpenter steps in. Has a walk and a ground out tonight. He grounded out with 2 on base in the 2nd inning. During that 9-game losing streak the Brewers had, the earned run average was up over 6. Fiers pitched a great ball game last night, giving up just 2 runs in 6 2/3. And the Brewers were able to get their offense going. Going to take some offense tonight.
They have 5-1 as a starter. Mike Fiers, his loss was even a good start against the Giants.
There's a called strike 3. Carpenter is out, doesn't agree with the call. And Lohse is out of the inning, but 3-run score, and it's 5-2 St. Louis. season, a 2-run shot. And makes it 5-2 St. Louis. Brewers coming up, bottom of the 4th inning. Our CarSoup.com trivia tonight. Name the 5 Brewers to lead the league in doubles. Good question. Lucroy leading the league in doubles currently, trying to become the 6th. Lucroy had a double earlier, his 48th of the year. And the Brewers are going to need their bats here tonight. Down 3, bottom 4. Lance Lynn has dialed it up a notch. He has retired 7 in a row. And all 5 of his strikeouts in the window of that 7 straight retired. Brewers got 2 on him in the first, but there were 3 St. Louis errors in that inning. And a jam shot out to Peralta for out number 1. Ramirez is 0 for 2.
Yeah, something about that Lance Lynn fastball that hitters just have a rough time with. He throws a lot of them. Almost 80% of his pitches are fastballs, and the other 20 pretty much sliders. So all hard stuff, but must be a little bit of that deceptive delivery and Mike Fiers' deception that really makes it difficult on the hitters. And a lot of times he'll get plenty of the plate with it.
Lynn's got plenty of velocity on that fastball as well. He's hit 95 here tonight. In cruise control at 92, 94 range. At one point had 4 consecutive Ks down at the bottom of the Brewers order. Last Brewer base runner was Lucroy with that double in the first. He knocked one over the head of John Jay in center.
Got to lay off that high fastball. Good eye by Jonathan Lucroy right there. That's a pitch that a lot of hitters swing at and pop up. That high fastball up above the belt.
Three and 1 to Lucroy. That's high, ball 4. So Lucroy draws the walk. Second trip on the base pads for the Brewer catcher. Here comes Chris Davis. Now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag WisFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by AT&T. A spectacular night here at Miller Park. Just perfect weather.
Yeah, could not ask for a better night.
Moon shining brightly up there.
I think it's going to be a nice September. Good weather in October. Perfect playoff scenario weather.
Amen.
Roof open weather for the Brewers here at Miller Park.
Brewers have 21 games left, including tonight. The stretch is here. This is the 3rd game of an 11-game homestand. Brewers finished the season here at Miller Park with 3 against the Cubs. Davis fouls it back.
That's what we were talking about with that Lynn fastball. You know it's coming. You just can't square it up. This guy's only allowed 8 home runs this year. 8 for a guy that doesn't throw too many off-speed pitches.
Game winner, an earned run average of 2.85 coming into play. That was after giving up 3 runs in 6 innings. His last time out as Davis flies to right. Taveras will make the catch for out number 2. Well, the National League, Lynn is on that list. Fewest home runs allowed for starting pitchers. We cut it off at 150 innings. So starters who have been out there quite a bit every 5th day. And among that group, Lynn's given up the fewest.
Yep, 7th in the National League in earned run average. The guy that's currently sitting at 5th is tomorrow's starting pitcher for the Cardinals, Adam Wainwright.
Wainwright with 16 wins, one off the league high, and then with .269 earned run average. These are the best two for the Cardinals as he puts a fastball right by Overbay. Overbay struck out his last time up. Just can't get there. 0-2 the count. Nothing but fastballs from Lynn to Overbay.
It's pretty much been nothing but fastballs all night. He's thrown a couple of sliders. But I guess if it's working, why change it up?
.96 with the heat that time. That's his best fastball of the night. Lynn giving up 2 runs, 1 earned in the first inning. Ryan Braun with the RBI, had a single to left center. Down at the bottom of the Brewers order, Overbay batting with Lucroy at first. Big shift on for Overbay. They've got 3 infielders on the right side. Overbay is the franchise record holder for doubles. He and Aramis Ramirez, the 2 in franchise history to have 50 doubles. Lucroy 2 away from joining that group.
There's a curveball right there from Lynn. One of the few he's thrown tonight.
Overbay hanging tough in an 0-2 count. And that misses way inside. That hit him. Overbay hit by an 0-2 pitch. Boy, that's a break. So Lucroy to second. Overbay grazed by a fastball. 2 on for Gene Segura now. The Brewers put the tying run at the plate.
They're just trying to overthrow a little bit and held on to it a little bit too long. I think that one got him in the foot. Yep, no, got him twice, front leg, back leg, and Overbay will get first base. Hit him twice.
Best way to get hit. So here is Segura now. 2 on, 2 out. Got the pitcher due up next, Loesch. Renicky does have Marco Estrada in the bullpen. If Segura reaches, he might take a shot. See if he can generate some offense.
Yeah, why wait?
Playing the 4th inning.
They got plenty of options on that bench for Ron Renicky. You got 10 players on the bench available.
See Matt Clark back in the tunnel with a helmet on. Might be his spot if it comes up. Way inside. Almost got Segura. 2 balls and a strike on Segura. By the way, that hit by pitch on Overbay. First time Overbay's been hit by a pitch since 2011.
Really?
I mean, that's getting through some of the wilderness.
That's probably why he wasn't sure whether to go to first base or not.
Right.
But it hit him twice.
2-1 now. Another one almost clipped Segura.
He was missing badly all of a sudden. Yeah, 3-1, and you figure you're going to get a pretty good pitch to hit here. I think the Cardinals and Lance Lynn are figuring on if Segura reaches, the Brewers are going to go to the bench. Pick you out a fastball and try and knock it out of here.
Segura has just 4 homers this year. They had a good cutted one. It was on the outer half of the plate at 96, and it goes to a 3-2 count on Segura, who's asking if it was a strike. Both runners will get a head start. Segura's been a struggling hitter. Had 3 infield hits last night. Has very good speed. Looking for a mistake here. 3-2. Runners go. Segura fouls it off. Easy from this position to say, but when Lynn's gotten in trouble, he's gone to the fastball. That's been his go-to pitch.
Yeah. And it's just about all he's thrown all night.
Full count. We'll do it again. Another payoff. Both runners will take off. Segura punches one to the right side. That is a foul ball. Yeah, Bob Davidson turned around. I'm not sure he actually saw it right away.
And Adams having a rough time. He dove for that baseball in foul territory, thinking he might grab it before he hit the ground. A line drive. Watch Adams try and dive for it. He comes in a pile.
Almost a collision with Bob Davidson.
And not sure what happens here with Adams, but you can see the way he rolls over on top of his glove and very slow to get up. He's got that oblique issue he's dealing with.
Does not look comfortable. Yadier Molina. Quick chat with his pitcher. Game's had some big moments early. The Cardinals scored 2 in the first. Brewers tied it in the bottom half. St. Louis just scored 3 in the top of this inning. And the Brewers trying to muster up a rally with 2 outs. Another 3-2 pitch. Runners go. Segura fouls this one away.
Making him work. Yeah, Lynn continues to pound the fastball, and every one of them have been on the outer half of the plate.
He'll see at least 9 pitches. Overbay fouled off a number of 0-2 pitches before he was hit by a Lynn fastball. Pitch number 9. And it's ball 4. Segura draws the walk. He didn't bite. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs. And decision time for Renicky. He will take a shot at it here early. Matt Clark is going to come on to pinch hit.
Well, just one of those nights for Kyle Lowe. So why wait around? You've got the bases loaded. You got plenty of bats on that bench. Derek Lilliquist is going to go out and have a chat with Lance Lynn about the scouting report on Clark.
Well, Matt Clark, his first major league hit came here Friday night. Got a pinch hit appearance. I beg your pardon, Thursday night. Got a pinch hit appearance and a base hit, and got it in front of his father, Terry Clark, who is a pitching coordinator in the minor leagues with the Mariners. And a thrilling moment for Matt Clark. He spent the year last year in Japan. He hit 25 homers and drove in 70 runs for the Chunichi Dragons. Had a huge year in Japan last year. That got him a job with the Mets. But it ended up in AAA, and then he decided to take his release. Signed with the Brewers. He was in Nashville, swinging the bat very well at the end of the year. So the Brewers give him a shot here in the big leagues. And now here he is in a huge spot.
And now up with the bases loaded against the Cardinals in a pennant race. Hey, you stick to it. You never know where you're going to end up.
He's 27 years of age. Southern California native. Played his college ball at LSU. Clark pops it up. John Jay is under it. And the Brewers strand, the bases loaded. So Loesch is out, as is Clark. We head to the 5th in a 5-2 Cardinal lead. We are away on commercial break. The pink out at Miller Park. All fans holding up the placards that were placed there for them. And what a cool scene inside Miller Park, and they're raising awareness for breast cancer research.
You see the pink ribbons down there in the lower level. Fans doing a nice job following instructions.
Yeah, cool moment here at Miller Park. It's going to be a great picture. Now here we go to the Cardinal 5th inning, and the Brewers have a new pitcher on the mound, Marco Estrada.
I figure Marco Estrada in here early today. Another very short start and a rough one for Kyle Loesch. He last pitched on Wednesday against the Cubs at Wrigley Field, and through 2 scoreless innings, gave up a couple of hits, struck out 3 batters, and his last 13 appearances have been all in relief. On her here early in the 5th inning at Miller Park against St. Louis.
Lance Lynn able to put up a 0 last inning. He stranded the bases loaded, working around 2 walks and a hit batter. Brewers got to the bottom of their order, unfortunately. Had to call on a pinch hitter. September call up Matt Clark. So Loesch is out, 4 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts.
And the killers were 2 home runs.
2 2-run homers. Matt Adams in the first, Oscar Taveras last inning. Here's John Jay to lead it off. He'll be followed by Holiday, then Adams. Things aren't going well on the old scoreboard tonight. The Brewers keeping an eye on some of their challengers right now. The Pirates won a suspended game in 11 innings against the Cubs, 5-3, and they're leading 4-0 in the second game. That game's in the 9th inning. So Pittsburgh, if they hang on to win that one, go to 73-68. They could pull within a half a game of the Brewers if the Brewers don't come back here tonight. Atlanta, the team that the Brewers are directly ahead of in the wild card standings, leading the Marlins 3-1. So if everything stays as is, you'd have 3 teams for that second wild card spot, separated by a half a game.
Yeah. And the Brewers play the Pirates on the next road trip, 3-game series. Was it St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, right?
That's right. Pittsburgh over the weekend. Brewers have a couple of days off. One before the road trip, one during the road trip in Cincinnati. John Jay into center field, routine for Parra, out number 1. And coming down the home stretch, that's it. This is the rest of the season there. That Cubs series will be a 3-game series that ends on Sunday the 28th. There you go, Ron.
Yeah, right here.
Nice.
Chicago. Yeah, I got it.
Wow.
There you go. Tried.
That's a very poor penmanship, but good effort.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Is that your injured finger?
That was my tip of my pen.
Holiday flies to right. I mean,
boy, rough crowd.
That's a tough effort right there.
Just try to help. Just try to let everybody know that there is a game on Sunday at the end of the month. Hey, Wednesday is halfway to St. Patrick's Day at Miller Park. The Brewers take on the Marlins, and all fans who purchase a halfway to St. Patrick's Day ticket package will get a Brewers green knit beanie. For details, visit brewers.com/special events. How did I do on that?
Perfect.
Now that you're critiquing everything.
The spoken word much better for you than the written word. I thought
see, now you know why I never use a telestrator. A million critics out there.
I thought the children's room got a hold of the telly right there. No, but it's a good point. That's 3 games. You wanted to finish off the regular season. Another long road trip. Those 3-city road trips are pretty rare, and the Brewers are going to have back-to-back 3-city road trips to finish the regular season. That's a tough draw on the old scheduling.
Yep, 10-day road trip that they just finished, and or I should say an 11-day road trip, and a 10-day coming up. About every team goes through it. You know, you have equal number of home games as road games, and it just sets up differently for every team.
2-2 to Adams, and down he goes. He chased a changeup. So Estrada, nice and tidy, comes back, settles it down. A 3-up, 3-down fifth. Here come the Brewers.
And in our Crew in the Community tonight, you can join the Milwaukee Brewers and the Brewers' wives in support of the Wisconsin Humane Society by purchasing a pet calendar. Now, the calendar has players, coaches, and their families along with their pets, and some players are along with some friends from the Wisconsin Humane Society who are up for adoption and in need of a good home. So they are available for purchase in the team store by Majestic. The calendars are $14.95 and help the Wisconsin Humane Society provide protection, shelter, and care for the homeless animals, just like Hank used to be before he was taken in by the Brewers. BA?
All right, Sophia, thanks. Pretty cool looking calendar. Top of the order, Scooter Gennett will lead off. Gennett, Parra, and Braun to start it. The Brewers are down 3. They get something going against Lance Lynn. Might encourage Matheny to get some activity in his bullpen, even though he has only given up 1 earned run tonight. He's thrown a lot of pitches, coming off an inning where he threw a lot of pitches with 2 walks and a hit batter. 2 2-run homers by St. Louis has him on top by 3. Got an RBI from Colton Wong as well. He doubled. Tough night for Loesch. Hoping to get his finish to the season turned around. Brewers would love to take him off the hook here tonight. Loesch has been so good for Milwaukee. But you got to think that ankle is still bothering him a little bit. Just didn't look like himself, and he really hasn't, although he kind of muscled through it against the Padres coming back from the injury. Hasn't had that crispness about his pitches.
Well, you saw signs of it as the game went on today, but the 2 mistakes that he made, giving up the 2 home runs, one on a curveball, one on a changeup, and when you're batting a little bit of a leg injury, sometimes those are the toughest pitches to command. Had a difficult time getting his curveball down in the strike zone. Ended up forgetting about that pitch. Didn't throw any last couple of innings. And went with the changeup, and Tavares the changeup out of the ballpark.
Gennett is 0 for 2. Reached on an error in the first. One of 3 St. Louis errors in that first inning. That led to one of the 2 runs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gennett takes one down and in. That almost hit him. Boy, Lynn has been close to hitting a number of Brewer hitters tonight. He's clipped Overbay. Almost got Segura twice. Almost got Davis.
He's having a difficult time pitching in on both right-handers and left-handers. His command going away from either side has been pretty good. But he has given the Brewers some pitches to hit. That last one for Gennett. Guy just can't seem to square it up.
Two balls, 2 strikes. 3-2 it goes. Like the Brewers, the Cardinals are well stocked in their bullpen. St. Louis with 12 relievers in their pen. September call-up baseball. Here's a payoff pitch. Missed badly. Gennett draws a leadoff walk. Lynn wants a new baseball, one that has some strikes in it.
Yeah, Brewers haven't got a hit since the first inning, but they've walked 3 times. They've been hit by a pitch. Loaded the bases last inning without a base hit.
Now Lynn searching, shaking his head. And here is Gerardo Parra. Parra with a double. Knocked it over the head of Tavares in right field in the first inning. Scored a run. Lynn struck him out his last time up. And a breaking ball in there for a strike. The old backdoor breaking ball for strike 1.
It's a tough arm angle to be able to get a good break on that pitch and end up hitting the outside corner. A lot of pitchers can't do it.
Same pitch, but he missed down in the dirt that time. Molina keeps it in front. Parra's got great numbers against Lance Lynn in his career. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He's 7 for 14 lifetime against Lynn. Has a home run against him. Making his 6th consecutive start, Gerardo Parra, in the absence of Gomez. In this run of starts for Parra, he is now 11 for 23 at the plate.
And has made a number of very nice defensive plays. And Lance Lynn, ever since the beginning of the 4th inning, just has not been able to find his command. He's been all over the place, high, low in the strike zone.
Get another man on, might see some activity in the Cardinal bullpen. 2-1. Parra takes ball 3. Now the Brewers were swinging at a lot of those fastballs through the 2nd and the 3rd inning. Started to take some of those fastballs now. See Derek Lilliquist to the right of Matheny with the pitch clicker. This is number 85 coming for Lynn. We're only in the 5th. Understudy of Dave Duncan for many years. Took over for Duncan, and Cardinals haven't missed a beat. Outstanding pitching coach.
Got some pretty good arms to work with, though. That helps.
Full count. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks. 2 on to start the inning, and Lilliquist immediately comes out.
Yeah, 4 walks tonight. That gives Lance Lynn 67 walks this year. So you be patient with him. You lay off that high fastball and make him get down in the strike zone. You got a chance. But you continue to swing at that high fastball, he's not going to make an adjustment. He'll just keep throwing it up there.
Ryan Braun coming up. 2 on, nobody out. Braun in the 1st inning with 2 on and nobody out. Our Southwest Airlines non-stoppable play slipped coming out of the box, but able to dump it into left field. Holliday made an error there and then made another error on the throw to the plate. 2 errors on the same play by Holliday. An RBI for Braun, and he ended up at 3rd base. After all of that, Braun was thrown out trying to score on a sac fly. Holliday made a good throw on that occasion. And it was a 2-run 1st inning. Now Ryan with a chance to do some damage. He's the tying run here in the bottom of the 5th. Lynn pumps one in there for a strike. Cardinals do have activity in their bullpen. Seth Maness has been an expert for Matheny getting out of middle game jams.
And a guy that doesn't take long to get loose.
Braun on the ground, got a chance to turn it here. Goes 6-4-3 and a double play.
Man.
Now the Brewers are getting at bats with their big hitters up. Ramirez and Braun.
Just have not been able to get that big hit. You know, Braun did get the single in the 1st inning, but well, what an ideal setup for the Brewers. 1st and 2nd, nobody out with 3 and 4 in the order coming up. There's that cut fastball from Lance Lynn. Didn't do much. Ryan out in front off the end, and an easy double play to short.
Well, 2 outs now. Jeanette over at 3rd base, and here is Aramis Ramirez. If the Brewers are going to get their offense churning, the big bats have to deliver. That's what they're paid to do. Yesterday, the Brewers got great success from some of the secondary hitters, guys like Jeanette and Davis. Lucroy did have an RBI yesterday. He's one of the primary bats in the lineup. But day in, day out, top hitters in the lineup have to deliver as Ramirez chases one.
And the teams are going to get to the postseason are going to be the teams where their big guys have been driving in the runs.
Two balls and a strike on Ramirez. 2-2. Lucroy due up next. Jeanette started the inning with a walk. Back-to-back walks to start the inning. And down he goes. Ramirez strikes out, and a promising start to the frame ends with a 0 as Lance Lynn pitches through it. Lead at 5-2, and a reminder that America's new sports network is the place to turn before every slam, every goal, every game, with America's pregame on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Tune into America's pregame weekdays at 5 p.m. Central, only on Fox Sports 1. To find Fox Sports 1 on your cable or satellite provider, go to foxsports1.com. Marco Estrada back out for his second inning of work. Worked a 1-2-3 fifth with a strikeout his last time. And facing Johnny Peralta to start it. Peralta, Molina, and Wong coming up here for St. Louis. Cardinals have 5 runs on 4 hits, but they have 2 two-run homers. Peralta got the 3-run rally started in the 4th with a single to start that inning. Had a clean single to left right through the hole between 3rd and short.
Hey, bottom of the order has done a lot of damage for the Cardinals. 3 of the 5 RBIs from the 7 and 8 hitters.
Peralta with a home run yesterday off Fiers. One of the few mistakes Fiers made in yesterday's game. Sitting on 19 this year. Been a big bat for St. Louis.
Cardinals have been looking for some offense out of their shortstop for years now. Have finally got it. I guess the last big offensive player was for Call. Remember, he came in. That 2011. Of course, he wasn't a big power hitter. It certainly got that offense going that year.
Just got a piece of that, did Peralta. He's now 31 years of age. 8th different opening day shortstop for the Cardinals in 8 consecutive years. Combined the last 2 seasons, Cardinal shortstops combining to hit 12 home runs. Peralta's got 19 this year. Hits that one sharply into center field, but Parra will close on it to make the play. One away for Estrada.
Well, again, Peralta not the greatest of defenders. I mean, if he can get to it, he's going to make the play. Decent arm. Not great range, but Cardinals looking for some offense out of that shortstop position, and they've certainly gotten it from Johnny Peralta. He's always been a good hitter.
Here's Yadier Molina. Molina has been back a little over a week now after undergoing surgery on his thumb, his right thumb. Cardinals had no worries at all about Molina behind the plate and his throwing. That thumb is heavily wrapped under that glove. A little concerned about his offense, missing so much time, and how a right thumb injury is going to affect him at the plate.
Well, the thing about Molina is he's an opposite field hitter, and you know, you don't really, I mean, if you're going to hurt a finger, the thumb, not too bad if you're an opposite field guy, but if you're a pull hitter, it certainly is an issue.
Yeah, Braun dealing with a right thumb injury. It's turned him into an opposite field hitter.
Exactly. Yeah. Just having you have a difficult time having that top hand take over at the point of contact, which makes you more of an opposite field guy, and it forces you to do that.
Difference between the injuries: Molina required surgery. He tore a ligament in the thumb. Braun is a nerve issue that runs up and down that thumb and gets flamed up when he gets jammed or hits one off the end of the bat. Then he has a lot of trouble with it. That's one of the reasons Braun was originally not in the starting lineup when the first lineup was issued. Braun then took batting practice and said it was good enough to go tonight, and then put back in the starting lineup. Molina strikes out. Perfect spot right on the edge, the bottom corner of the strike zone, and Yadier Molina is the second strikeout victim for Estrada.
Hey, it's Robin Yount bobblehead day here at Miller Park on Sunday, September 14th. The Brew Crew squares off against the Reds, and all fans will get a bobblehead of the Brewers Hall of Fame shortstop. That's courtesy of Robert Hack Diamonds. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit Brewers.com.
Two outs for Colton Wong. One of 5 left-handed hitters in the lineup tonight.
And Marco just pouring in his strikes and working quickly. That's what you like about Marco. He doesn't mess around too much. Doesn't venture too far from that pitching rubber. Gets it and goes.
Marco's made 31 pitches in his 2 innings, has 21 strikes. It's a good number, over 2-1.
Sometimes it can be very difficult. Every time you come in a game, your team's down by 3 or 4 runs.
Wong into center field, hits sharply. Parra runs it down, and a 1-2-3 inning, and Marco Estrada 6 in a row through the 5th and the 6th. Brewers are coming up. Coming up, down 3. They've had some chances in the last couple of innings against Lance Lynn. Stranding 4 in the last 2 innings. Car Soup trivia tonight. Name the 5 Brewers to lead the league in doubles. Lucroy has a chance to become the 6th. And the other 5, it started with Cecil Cooper, then Robin Yount, Paul Molitor, Overbay and Ramirez. Both Overbay and Ramirez with 50-plus doubles. And Cooper did it twice in 79 and 81. Yount had a couple of occasions as well. That World Series team in 82. And then the last 2 to do it, getting into that 50 number. Lucroy has 48 doubles. That year Ramos had 50 doubles, was his first year as a Brewer, 2012. Lucroy, little half swing. That's going to get down the line. And Lucroy thinking about 2. He's on his way. It's going to be another double for Jonathan Lucroy.
Well, when you're hot, you're hot. How about that? A check swing double that time inside that first baseline for Luke.
.49 doubles for Jonathan Lucroy.
Well, he didn't want to, but he's glad he did now. Cut fastball, checks his swing, and couldn't put it in a better spot. Just inside that first base line, and yet another double. Beautiful bunt by Lucroy. Right down the right field line. Good for him.
Well, Lucroy has 42 doubles as a catcher. That's significant because Lucroy is approaching a record. The National League record for doubles by a catcher is 44. Yadier Molina of the Cardinals did that last year. The major league record for doubles by a catcher is 45. Pudge Rodriguez in 96. Lucroy now at 42. Well, the Brewers are getting some traffic on the bases, Rock. At some point, they're going to have to break through against Lance Lynn.
They got to come up with that big hit. The Brewers only 1 for 6 so far with runners in scoring position. That one hit came in the first inning, that Ryan Braun single.
Bouncing ball to short. Peralta thought about third. He'll make the play to first for out number 1. Lucroy ends up at third with 1 away.
Yeah, Lucroy got a really good jump. I mean, he better make it when you go on a ball like that. So Johnny Peralta just wanted to maybe just get the out of first base. If he went to third and didn't get him, then you expose yourself to a big inning. A 3-run lead. Peralta elects to go to first base. Would have been very close at third. Ball's actually behind him, but Peralta thinking about it and thought better of it and gets the out at first.
Maybe in a 1-run game or a tie game, but with a 3-run lead, Peralta takes the sure out.
The only thing, you don't know what the angle was. I mean, Lucroy might have been right in the angle for Peralta to throw to third base.
Lyle Overbay with Lucroy at third, 1 away. Segura to follow. A strike, a fastball in there, tied him up. 0-2 the count. The lefty is Sam Freeman. Manus continues to throw, the right-hander. Last time Lynn faced Overbay, got him in an 0-2 count, and then he hit him. With 2 walks and a hit batter in that 4th inning, the Brewers left him loaded.
Seems like every time he tries to come inside on a hitter, he has a difficult time with it.
Cardinals play their infield back. They will concede the run here. Overbay fouls it away.
Got in there that time. Good pitch.
Ton of foul balls tonight by the Brewers. Unofficial count around 24-25 foul balls in this game of the 103 pitches. That's a ton of fouls.
Yeah. Well, again, the Brewers just not able to square up the fastball. A little bit behind. That's what happens when you go after high fastballs. They're tough to get on top of. Swing underneath, you get a piece of it and foul it off. And most of the foul balls have been right back to the screen.
Overbay's worked it into a 3-2 count.
Big pitch count for Lance Lynn, over 100 now.
2 runs, 1 earned. Both coming in the 1st inning. Lynn with 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Lucroy at third. 3-2 pitch in the air. Left center field in the gap. Down it goes to the wall. Overbay on his way to second. It's an RBI double. And it's 5-3 St. Louis.
There you go. There's your hit. Brewers now their 2nd hit with a man in scoring position. That might do it for Lance Lynn. Overbay taking a pitch away from him. That fastball that was not up in the strike zone, able to center on it and drive it into the gap. Out over the plate, below the belt, and Overbay able to put a good swing on it.
We were just looking at that 53 double season that Overbay had. First time he was a Brewer. How many of those look just like that in the opposite field gap?
Yep, opposite field gap and down the left field line.
Overbay at second. Tying run at the plate for the Brewers. Gene Segura. Pitcher spot due up next. Renick's already put Reynolds on deck. Still just one out. And Yadier Molina will take the slow walk to the mound. Certainly not a visit to allow the relievers to get loose. Both are ready, plenty ready to come into this game. Remember, Maness was throwing last inning. Molina just, if nothing else, giving Lance Lynn a breather to try to get him through this sixth.
Yeah, Mike Matheny giving Lance Lynn a big leash, long leash with a very high pitch count, and in trouble in this inning.
There's Reynolds on deck in the pitcher's spot. 2 scoreless innings by Estrada has given the Brewers a chance here. 2-1. Segura doesn't walk much, but Drew walked his last time up. It's only the 24th walk of the year for Segura. Typically puts the ball in play. And a ground ball to second. Colton Wong for out number 2. Overbay to third base. 2 minutes gone now. Mark Reynolds will hit.
Pretty good pitch that time from Lance Lynn, a slider. And right off the end of Segura's bat, an easy grounder to second base. And Brewers looking for still another big hit with a man in scoring position. Let's take a look at our Powerball home run leaderboard. Home run leaders for the Brewers got Chris Davis at 22, and Mark Reynolds looking for number 22 right here to tie this game.
It's been almost a month since Reynolds last homered, however. August 11th at Wrigley Field. Brewers would love to get him on the hot home run binge here at this final stretch. He does hit him in bunches. And a little half swing foul ball.
Really is surprising that Mike Matheny is allowing Lance Lynn to continue in this game. I mean, if Reynolds goes deep right here, he's going to have to, some tough questions to answer at the end of the game.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And he's got the 112 pitches. He's been in trouble the last 3 innings.
Well, Lynn's been one of his horses this year, he and Adam Wainwright. And he's going to let it ride. 113 pitches thus far. Reynolds has the count in his favor now. Ground ball to third. And that will retire the side. The Brewers strand another runner, but they do get one in. Lynn probably done for the night. Cardinals lead 5-3. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. Saturday night, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's a beautiful night here. 5-3, the Cardinals lead the Brew Crew as we head to the 7th inning. Milwaukee has had a ton of base runners in this game. They've stranded 5 in the last 2 innings. A short start by Loesch, who went 4. Marco Estrada went 2 scoreless, and now it'll be Tom Gorzolani. He's got a left-hander and Oscar Taveras leading off, and then you figure the Cardinals will go to their bullpen after that.
And another good job by Marco Estrada. 6 up, 6 down, a couple of strikeouts, and kept the Cardinals off the scoreboard, and giving the Brewers an opportunity to inch closer as Gorzolani takes over in the 7th inning. Gorzolani last pitched on Tuesday against the Cubs. That was at Wrigley Field. Tossed a scoreless inning, gave up a hit, struck out a batter. And you got Taveras, the pitcher's spot, followed by a couple of left-handed hitters, Carpenter and Jay.
It looks like Matheny's going to go with Peter Borges next. He's on deck. Right-handed batter. Gorzolani trying to get the Brewers to the dugout in the 7th, only down 2. Cardinals won the opener Thursday. The Brewers won last night, 6-2. Very important series. Right now, St. Louis with a 3-game lead in the division. Oscar Taveras had a big hit in the 4th, a 2-run homer. Came off Loesch. He was fooled a little bit. He was out in front, but able to find the barrel and hit it out the short porch and right. Pirates ended up shutting out the Cubs today at Wrigley, 5-0 in the 2nd game after finishing off the suspended game with a win. So 2 wins for the Pirates today, and they're 73-68.
And Cardinals swept them before they came to Milwaukee.
Taveras fouls it away. Count stays at 2-2. Oscar Taveras has been kind of the odd man out here lately in the outfield with Jay and Borges. Matheny plays the card, gives him a start, and he delivers with a 2-run home run for his manager. And he goes. A strikeout for Gorzolani. Oscar Taveras is out.
Good slider that time off the corner. Taveras tried to hold up, couldn't do it.
As promised earlier in the broadcast, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Don't forget to use the hashtag WisFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown. It comes from Sam. Good looking hat, Sam. Brewers going with the ball and glove look again tonight after they snapped their 9-game losing streak last night in the retro uniforms. And if they win tonight, you can bet they'll be wearing them again tomorrow. Right off the end of the bat, Gorzolani underhands it to Overbay for out number 2. Borges retired in a pinch hit appearance. Well, Gorzelani coming off shoulder surgery at the end of last season. It's taken him a while to feel, as he says, normal again. Release points, the command, the shoulder just not quite right, but looks like lately he's starting to get back to his old ways here.
Yeah, his breaking ball's been pretty good. Going to keep the pitch down in the strike zone. Fastball's got some pretty good zip on it. He doesn't throw hard, but it comes out of his hand pretty well. Was not doing that early when he came off the DL. Just like that. 87 right on the outside corner. Never been a hard thrower, so that's not the issue. That mental barrier that you have to break through sometimes more difficult to get through than the physical one. Knowing that you can let it go, throw hard again. Sometimes you hold back a little bit thinking you might hurt yourself again. That is the most difficult thing in coming back from injury.
Gorzelani in the last of a 2-year deal he signed with the Brewers. He's hoping for a big finish. It's important for him, important for the team as he goes into a contract year. Just wants to prove he's healthy again. This is the perfect spot for him, and a spot where the Brewers need him to be effective.
Left-handed pitchers can pitch forever as long as you're healthy and get lefties out, throw strikes.
Two and two on Carpenter. Got another lefty on deck in John Jay. Matheny's more than happy to stack his lefties at the top. Carpenter and Jay, they both hit left-handed pitching well. Carpenter's about right on his season average against lefties. John Jay hitting around 400 against lefties.
Yeah, he's better against lefties than he is against right-handers. That means he stays on the baseball very well. Doesn't pull off, goes to left field. Right now he's hitting everybody, doesn't matter. And when you're seeing the ball like Jay is right now, you could throw anybody at you and he's going to get a pretty good swing at it.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. And that ball's hit sharply right at Jeanette. Perfect timing. That'll be the man who leads off in the 7th. Top of the order coming up. Scooter Jeanette with 3 RBIs yesterday. He'll get it started in the bottom of the 7th. It's stretch time at Miller Park. Get you caught up here on their AT&T U-verse Rewind. It is 5-3 St. Louis. The Cardinals starting it early with a 2-run homer from Matt Adams in the first inning. Brewers come right back. Ryan Braun with an RBI single. And then a couple of errors on the same play by Matt Holliday. Oscar Taveras with a 2-run home run as an answer in the 4th. That was a 3-run 4th inning. And then Lyle Overbay in the 6th with 1 out, wraps a double into left center. Scored Lucroy. And that's where we sit as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is 5-3 Cardinals. Peter Borges will take over in center field. That moves John Jay to right. Taveras is out, and the Cardinals have a new left-hander on the mound, Sam Freeman, which sends Ron Renicky to his bench, and he's going to pinch hit Ricky Weeks for Scooter Gennett.
Yeah, Freeman's had some pretty good numbers. 35th appearance and a .227 earned run average. He's given up 2 home runs and averaging a strikeout per innings pitched. 32 punch-outs and 31 2/3 innings for one of 6 left-handers down in that Cardinals bullpen.
You got a lefty and Parra due up next. Renicky will not pinch hit for Parra. Ricky Weeks is 1 hit shy of 1,000 in his career. His last hit was a home run on Thursday night. Weeks with 6 homers this season, 25 driven in. Figure Freeman's got the next 2 hitters.
That's something on that fastball. Not a big guy, but threw that one in 96 on the inside corner. Man, Ricky Weeks just couldn't get the bat head out on it. That is a good fastball from Freeman.
Freeman working on 10 days rest. Been a long time since he's been in a game. And he strikes out Ricky Weeks.
But when he gets in, he can strike out some batters. He struck out the side his last time out. Got Ricky, looked like a changeup that time. Tumbles out of the hand and very well located down in the zone. And Ricky way out in front over the top of it.
Threw him a 96-mile-an-hour fastball that tied him up, and then an 86-mile-an-hour changeup to strike him out.
10 days between appearances. They've got 12 relievers down there. Surprising he's been in that often.
At the plate, presented by Wendy's, Gerardo Parra doubled and scored in the first. He walked his last time up. And it's quickly 0-2 on Parra. You got Jeremy Jeffress and Jonathan Broxton. Jeffress has been throwing. Broxton just now getting his routine started.
Brewers get a couple of runs. You might see Broxton.
It'll be his 3rd consecutive game. Parra, a .232 lifetime hitter against lefties. His batting average against right-handers about 50 points higher throughout his career. Freeman's got him down 0-2, and he muscles one out to short, backhanded by Peralta. Nice play. Out number 2. Kind of got him in between a little bit, but he picks it clean and makes the play for the 2nd out. And Matheny's on his way to make a move. So with Braun coming up in a string of right-handers, Matheny says job well done, and we'll go to his bullpen. And the hard-throwing Carlos Martinez is coming in. Pitching change at Miller Park. We'll take a break. Seventh, and Braun will face Carlos Martinez. Hard throwing right-hander. The playoff picture as it stands right now, if the Brewers don't come back tonight, the Braves do have a lead right now over the Miami Marlins. It could be in a tie for that second wild card spot. The Pirates would be a half game back. Giants won today. They beat the Tigers. They would go up 4. So this is a very important game here for the Brewers. Cardinals up 3 in the division starting play today. And the numbers on Carlos Martinez.
Yeah, 47th appearance. Started out as a starter. He made 7 starts with the Cardinals. You can see a strikeout pitcher, 71 punch-outs in a little over 77 innings of work. Throws hard, got a good fastball and a very good changeup.
Well, the Cardinals are very good at the end of games in their bullpen with Martinez in the 7th. They have Neshek for the 8th, an all-star this year as a setup man, and Rosenthal, one of the top closers in the game, finishing it out.
98, and he does it effortlessly. It doesn't look like he's expending much energy. Talking about Martinez, just able to get that good leverage and just fires it in there. Big fastball.
Braun bounced into a double play in the 5th inning. That was a big one for St. Louis. Brewers had 2 on, nobody out in that frame. And a called strike 3. So Ryan is out. Tough night at the office for him. Brewers go quietly in the 7th. Milwaukee. They're hoping for a big finish by their favorite team, the Brew Crew. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Tomorrow, 12:30 is airtime. Final game of this 4-game series. It's a rematch. Adam Wainwright against Jimmy Nelson. And Jimmy Nelson hoping to get back to winning ways for the Brew Crew. Wainwright, one of the best pitchers in the league. 16 wins, a 2.69 ERA, is 5th best in the league. He is 1 win away from the league lead in victories as well. There's a group of 3 pitchers at 16 wins. So the young and the experienced matching up tomorrow in the final game of the series. Ricky Weeks will stand to play second base. He pinch hit last inning, and the new pitcher rock is Jeremy Jeffress.
Yeah, good numbers for Jeremy. 20th appearance since his recall from the minor leagues. A 150 earned run average. Last pitched first game of this series against the Cardinals. That was on Thursday. 2/3 scoreless. Came up on July 21st from AAA Nashville and has done very well. 11 strikeouts and 18 innings of work. And last handful of outings, he's had a pretty good breaking ball. That's a big difference for Jeffress now than when he was first with Milwaukee. Curveball's been better.
He's got his hands full here in the 8th. Going to have to go through the heart of the St. Louis order. Starts with John Jay. Holiday to follow. Matt Adams after that. If anybody gets on, Peralta. "5-3 Cardinals." A big 3-run 4th inning, the difference. Bouncing balls. Segura. And Jay is retired. 0 for 4 tonight, John Jay. Hit the ball hard a couple of times. Nothing to show for it.
And Jeremy's doing a nice job since coming up and throwing strikes. He's only walked 3 and now 18 in the 3rd inning. So pounding the strike zone with that big fastball with good movement on it. Hey, you are a relief pitcher. You come in close games. You can't come in walking batters, and he has really had no issue with that this year.
Brewers have gotten some good work out of their bullpen tonight. 9 up and 9 down. Marco Estrada went 2 scoreless. Scorzalani a scoreless 7th. And now 10 in a row retired with that ground out by Jay. Holiday is 0 for 3. He hit a bullet in the 3rd inning for an out. Has a strikeout and a fly ball out as well tonight. Out in front of that one. Fly ball to Braun for out number 2. 4 pitches and 2 outs for Jeremy Jeffress.
Boy, Holiday held hitless 2 consecutive games. Of course, this was not over. But he has not been able to get in the hit column since Thursday.
And had 3 hits on Thursday. Came into this series scorching hot. Kept it going Thursday night. The Brewers have cooled him off since. 2 quick ones for Jeffress. Here is Matt Adams now. Adams has destroyed Brewer pitching over the years. Tonight is his 22nd game against Milwaukee. He has 20 RBIs against him and hit his 8th home run against the Brewers of his career in the 1st inning. That one's hit hard to left field. Davis on the run. He's got it at the track. And a 6-pitch inning for Jeremy Jeffress. The Brewers bullpen doing their part. Now the Brewers coming to bat.
Check out that odd line. 5-3 right now as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Augie and I getting set for Brewers Live postgame coming up after the ball game. One nice storyline that has been developing through tonight has been the bullpen. They came in relief of Kyle Loesch starting in inning number 5.
Yes, they have, and I'll tell you, after Loesch struggled and giving up the 2 home runs and the 5 runs, the bullpen has come in and done a really nice job. He retired 12 in a row, and that's what your bullpen needs to do at this time of year. Come in and throw up zeros. They've done just that. The Brewers having that guys on the base 4 times in this game. Got to come up with the big key hit.
17 1/3 scoreless inning streak going right now for the Brewer bullpen. And so they're doing their part to keep this team in it. Now let's see what the hitters can do as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning for Milwaukee. Meaty middle part of that order coming up, Brian.
All right, Craig and Augie, thanks. Yeah, the bullpen retiring 12 in a row. Estrada, Gorzolani, Jeffress. And depending on what happens here in the bottom of the 8th, we'll see what Renicke's next move will be. John Jay is now in left field, so Matheny's going to tighten up his defense. Randall Grichuk in right. Matt Holliday out of the lineup. It's always risky to take a big bat out, but Holliday just hit in the top of this inning.
Yeah, 2-run lead. You never know. I mean, Holliday's spot might come up again. The Brewers are certainly hoping they come back and maybe play some extra frames to win a ball game.
Matheny's going to stick with Martinez here. They got the final out, and Aramis now to Peralta. 1 away. Aramis has been quiet in the series. 0 for 4 last night, 0 for 4 tonight.
It seems like he's rolling over on a lot of pitches, and you know, when he was going well in the month of August, he was driving that same pitch into right field. Trying to pull it, maybe pressing, trying to hit a home run. It's been a while for Ramirez. Hit a home run the first game of that last road trip for the Brewers. That came back against the San Diego Padres. And he's in a bit of a home run drought.
And Ramirez is only 1 for 12 in this series. Here's Lucroy now with 1 out. Lucroy has been aboard all 3 times tonight. 2 doubles and a walk. Brewers desperate for a base runner, trying to bring the tying run to the plate.
Yeah, 49 doubles for Jonathan Lucroy. He's still got a ways to go for the all-time major league record in doubles. 67 is the all-time record.
Yeah, said back in the 30s, 1931, Earl Webb. 67 doubles.
That's pretty good, huh?
Now 2 of the best catchers in the game. Molina and Lucroy. Lucroy starting to be a part of that conversation, and he knew it. Boy, Lucroy.
Breaking ball, yeah.
Saw the breaking ball. It's the same pitch that got Ryan Braun 2 outs. Martinez is on top of his game at this point.
Yep, threw it right on the inside corner. He started out on the inside corner, buckled the knees of Jonathan, and ended up ending up right down the middle.
Well, Chris Davis last night in the 6th inning. Brewers had a 4-1 lead, and he made it a 6-1 lead. Powerball home run number 22 for Chris. And he swings and lines one right field. That's going to be down for a base hit. Into the corner it goes. And Davis into second with a double. And the Brewers will bring the tying run to the plate.
Man, a good approach for Davis, not trying to pull it. Looked like the pitch was middle in. Watch him pull the hands in and just shoot it down the right field line. That's a nice swing. I mean, Davis is really seeing the baseball well right now. Look at the balance on that swing. Really trying to concentrate on getting the hands inside, and drives it down the line. And the Brewers a home run away from tying it up.
We talk about Lucroy and his doubles. Chris Davis now has 36. That is tied for 4th in the National League. Lyle Overbay had an RBI double in the 6th inning. Got a chance to drive in another one here with 2 outs. And a strike with a fastball at 99 miles an hour from Martinez. Oh, and 2 to Overbay. Or Martinez is bringing the heat with a runner at second.
Back-to-back fastballs at 98 miles an hour. Got the slider, the changeup to go with it.
Big run to pick up for the Brewers at second. Overbay in a hole, 0-2. And he got him. Took something off. Martinez impressive. Gives the Cardinals 4 big outs. 5-3 St. Louis. We go to the 9th. Great relief pitching as well here tonight. And the Brewers will head to the 9th, down a pair. Jeffress will continue. Trying to continue a string of 12 straight retired by the Brewer relievers. And that would be 14 consecutive batters retired.
And you hope that doesn't all go for naught. You get a couple of runs, tie it up, maybe get 3. You certainly want to take advantage of good bullpen work that like the Brewers have had so far tonight.
Johnny Peralta leads off for St. Louis. Former Brewer Casey McGee, a 2-run single in the 8th to tie the game between the Marlins and the Braves.
Some kind of year he's having. You're going to see Casey and the Marlins on Monday.
Well, the Marlins 5 back right now. That second wild card spot held by the Brewers. Oh, and to the count to Peralta. And he got him. Jeffress burns off the edge with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
He's sitting in that dugout watching Carlos Martinez light up that speed pitch at 98, saying I can do the same, and able to catch the outside corner with that one. Not much you're going to do with that pitch. That velocity right on the corner. Pitching with a lot of confidence right now.
That's 15 consecutive Cardinals retired. been a strange stat line, as Craig and Augie mentioned, for St. Louis. They have only stranded 2 base runners tonight. That came in the same inning in the second. So they have made their hits count. The 2 2-run homers. 5 runs on 4 hits. Colton Wong has the other RBI, the non-homer RBI. He's due up next. 0-2 the count on Molina.
And Molina choking up. Don't remember Molina doing that before. Maybe the result of that thumb problem he's got. He's choking up a couple inches.
That's Hunter Pence style right there.
Right. Not many guys choke up anymore.
Oh, just sawed him off. Molina hardly running. Doesn't even bother. That one had to sting. You know it did.
He probably hurt that thumb too. It's probably why it took him so long to get out of that batter's box. Talk about eating him up inside. This pitch right here. I mean, that's about as much of a knuckle buster as you're going to see. Look how far down on the handle that is. And he lets go on it. And you could just sense the pain rifling through that thumb. And that's why he wasn't able to get out of that box so quickly.
So Molina will be Jeffers' last hitter. Boy, what an efficient outing for Jeffers. 12 pitches, 5 outs, including a K. Renicky will go to the bullpen with Colton Wong coming up. .42 in attendance tonight. They're having a little fun here this evening. Hoping for a good outcome for the Brew Crew. Right now the Brewers are down 5-3. They got 2 outs, and Renicky is going to go to his bullpen. So Jeffers is out, and Will Smith on to face Colton Wong. Got a couple of lefties coming up here for St. Louis. Smith has struggled here lately. Hope to get him back to form.
Yeah, pitched on Thursday, did not retire either batter that he faced, gave up a hit and a walk. You got Wong in the pitcher spot coming up.
Well, looking ahead to the Brewers in the bottom of the 9th inning. Segura is scheduled to start it. Pitcher spot. That's Rosenthal popping the glove down there with his big fastball. Speaking of big fastballs, a 95-mile-an-hour heater in for a strike. 1-2 for Smith. So we got 8, 9, and 1 coming up for the for the Brewers against Rosenthal in the 9th, as Wong flies to left. And the Brewers get great work from the bullpen tonight. They retire 14 in a row. Overall, the Cardinals 17 consecutive outs. Bottom of the ninth coming. Well, what the Brewers need right now is at least 2. They'll take 3 as well. 5-3 St. Louis. We go to the bottom of the ninth. And the Brewers are going to send up Gene Segura to start it. Trevor Rosenthal, 42 saves this year. He's blown 5.
Well, tied for the league leading saves with Craig Kimbrell. 66th appearance for Rosenthal. He's only allowed 2 home runs. Look at the opponent batting average at .219. And featured a very good changeup on Thursday night here at Miller Park.
Seemed to be a difference maker for him. Pitcher spot due up second. Herrera is going to hit. And Segura in the air to right center. 1 pitch and 1 out for Trevor Rosenthal, who is the league leader in saves. He's tied with Craig Kimbrell coming into play tonight. Cardinals get all they need at this point with 2 big innings. Got 2 in the first, 3 in the fourth. Brewers sit down 17 consecutive Cardinals. But yet they lead at 5-3. Elian Herrera announces the pinch hitter. You got Ricky Weeks coming up next. Somehow the Brewers trying to get to Gerardo Parra than Braun. Need a base runner. Braves Marlins are tied at 3 in the 9th inning. A Braves loss would mean the Pirates flip-flop with Atlanta. It would be the Pirates a half game back of the Brewers if the Brewers don't come back here. Going to be a wild ride. It has been already. 9-game losing streak. And the Brewers are trying to turn this thing around with 20 to play after tonight. One ball, 2 strikes. Rosenthal delivers, and it is low. Did he go? Yes, he did. Third base umpire Jordan Baker rings him up. 2 up, 2 down. And the Brewers are down to their last out. Go to the top of the order, Ricky Weeks.
Yep, you betcha he went.
Week's second plate appearance. And he lines one to right. A base hit. That's going to get into the corner. Weeks on his way to second. And it's a 2-out double. And career hit number 1,000 for Ricky Weeks.
That's a nice milestone for Ricky. Took a while to get there. Hasn't had a whole lot of playing time as of late, but there it is. 1,000 for Weeks. Good for him.
He is the 12th player in the history of the franchise to collect 1,000 hits. Brian Braun, the last to do it. And it is a big one. It now brings the tying run to the plate in Gerardo Parra. We got Braun due up next. 2 outs in the 9th.
Yeah, bloop and a blast now.
There's that changeup by Rosenthal. That was such a big pitch for him on Thursday night.
Yeah, that's an equalizer. You're throwing in the upper 90s. You can throw that pitch over for a strike. Makes it very tough on the hitter. There's that changeup grip, and Gerardo Parra way out in front.
He holds it just like Loesch holds his changeup. The Vulcan grip. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that's out in front of the plate. That's playable. Molina makes the throw in time. The ball game is over, and the Cardinals beat the Brewers again. A final of 5-3. They maximized their hits tonight. St. Louis had just 4 of them, but scored 5 runs, 2 2-run home runs, and the Cardinals go back up 4 games in the National League Central, and the Brewers could have some company in the second wild card spot after tonight's play. We'll keep an eye on that Marlins-Braves game during Brewers Live. One final game tomorrow. The Brewers will match up against Adam Wainwright. Final game of the series tomorrow afternoon. It's time for Brewers Live. Let's check in with Craig Kashawn.
All right, Brian, another close call loss for Milwaukee here. They out-hit the Cardinals, but come up short on the scoreboard. We'll tell you why. Begin post-game reaction as well. Hear from Ron Renicky and that clubhouse when we come back to start Brewers Live.